Welcome back to Chicago Now, the holiday season, and oftentimes it's for friends, for families to get together and enjoy one another. But I think sometimes people forget this part. If you've lost someone, it can be a really tough time. And here to help us navigate grief is Susie Shaw, a bereavement expert, author, and also speaker. Thank you so much, Susie, for joining us this morning.
Oh, I'm so grateful to be here. And I just want to let your audience members know, if you're somebody who's going through loss this season, whether it's your first holiday season without your loved one or your 10th, you are not alone. Grieving during the holidays is so challenging, and I just want you to know, feel all the feels, show up however you need to feel, and look for support around you.
Well, how can people make space, though, for both, joy and then also remembering their loved one, some of that grief that comes with it?
Yeah, I mean, grief is all about the both and, holding both joy and sorrow. If you're supporting a griever, I think the best thing that you can do is talk about the person that's not there. Ask questions about them and ask how they like to spend the holiday with their person who's missing. Set a place for them at the table. Light a candle in their honor. Really simple gestures go so far when we're trying to support our loved ones who are grieving.
You know, Susie, oftentimes people that talk about grief, some of them have their own experience, right? Some of them don't. I think sometimes it's better to hear it from someone who's actually navigated it and still navigating. I know that you lost your 9-year-old son, William. He passed away in 2019. First of all, I want to say I am sorry for your loss. I know sometimes that's just a blanketed statement, but I really am sorry, and I hope that you're healing through this. But how have you and your family navigated through that pain? Because to lose a child at 9, that has to be tough.
Oh, it's every parent's worst nightmare, right?
Yeah.
And yet we have been able to find joy, cultivate joy in our lives today. It was almost 7 years ago that he died. And that first holiday season, it was brutal. I mean, William died in February, and his birthday is December 20th, and then Christmas, so he was sort of our Christmas baby. We decided as a family, and my husband, my surviving son, who was 6 at the time, and myself, we decided to leave. We shirked all the regular traditions that we did with our family in the past, like our extended family, and we made the decision to be alone. And sometimes that's the choice that families need to make when they are feeling that profound loss. It's really hard to show up in a space where everybody's gathered and remembering and making new memories, and you're just missing your person so much. So we took a break, and ever since, our holidays have looked different. Like this year, we are going to spend Thanksgiving with my in-laws, something that we haven't done in a really long time, but we're ready for that. We feel prepared to be with a larger extended family. But if you're navigating those early months and years, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm just going to take a break. I'm not offending you, my extended family, but this is what I need, and hopefully I'll be back someday.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think it's okay to give yourself grace, and I think people need those reminders that they shouldn't feel so much pressure to act like everything's okay, still go to the function, but feel horrible on the inside. But maybe it's the reverse, and people do actually want to go to that gathering and in hopes that it makes them feel better. Do you suggest that? Is it really just following your heart?
I think so, because I've sat with other bereaved moms and other bereaved families who needed that big group around them to make them feel supported and seen in their grief. But no matter what, again, like you said, you've got to follow your heart. Do what feels best for you in the moment. Something I like to tell people too is bring your person with you. Like I'm wearing this little green pin today. William's favorite color was green, and so I always try to include him in what I'm doing. Like I said, we set a place for him at our table during special events. I hang his Christmas stocking on the mantle with his living brother's stockings. So I bring him into the space. And sometimes I even talk to him before an event, say, buddy, how should I show up today? I'm feeling really nervous. I'm feeling really apprehensive. Tell me how we can go through this together. And then letting your extended family know, like, I'm not showing up as my normal self because I'm no longer in that space. So support me and allow me to tell stories and talk about my person who's gone.
You know, Susie, I'm one of those people, I'll openly admit it, I don't grieve well. I'm the person, don't bring it up to me. You know, I prefer not to talk about it. What do you say to somebody this holiday season that may be grieving? They're gonna join together, they're gonna be at the dinner table, and maybe you do want to talk about it. Are you the person to initiate? Do you wait? How do you handle that?
I think so, and I'm so sorry that it sounds like you might have had a recent loss. But you know, I like to tell people, do ask, especially, oh, I heard about, you know, the loss of your loved one. Would you like to talk about it? And that's it. They'll then invite you and say, oh, yes, I'd love to tell you a story about last Christmas when we were together. Or, you know what, right now just doesn't feel like the good time for me to talk about my person, but thank you so much for asking. You know, so I would open the door for conversation, but understand that somebody might not be ready. And either way is fine. And I will tell you, there's no good or bad way, right or wrong way to grieve. Everybody's grief is so personal. But I think acknowledging the grief is really important. And we don't want to hide it away, right? But allowing people to make choices that suit them best. Like me and my husband, for instance, we grieve very differently. I will talk about William all the time at different events. He doesn't as nearly as much. He's doing it right for him. I'm doing it right for me.
Thank you for your condolences too, Susie. I really appreciate it.
Susie. You know, it says that here that you're an author, you're a speaker. I know that people are going to want to hear more from you just through this short conversation. What is your book called, and where can people find more information about your journey?
Absolutely. You know, I write on Substack, so I don't have a book yet. Hopefully someday I will. But I'm on Substack. I write letters to my son. It's called Dear William, and it's a way for me to connect with him. And that is called Bereavement Mom on Substack. I also have a website for my own personal information. It's called bereavementmom.com. Like I just lean in. This is who I am now. So I am bereavementmom.com. But I also have a nonprofit called Williams Be Yourself Challenge in honor of my son. And we are currently raising money to purchase a single family home so that we can send grievers, families who have gone through transformational loss, away on free week-long vacations. And so we're really trying to support grieving families as much as possible with education, with these retreat vacations, and writing and letting people know that it's okay to talk about the people that we're missing. In fact, it's critical sometimes to our survival as bereaved folks.
Yeah. Well, Susie Shaw, thank you so much for joining us. We will have you on again. Thank you for being so open and honest and vulnerable with us, and we will keep William in mind this holiday season.
Happy holidays.
Oh, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for allowing me to talk about grief and my son William.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll be right back after this break.